y prime equals. How do you take the derivative of a logarithmic function?
1 over the function times the derivative.
And I need to take the derivative of 1 plus e to the 2x. Alright, so 1 plus e to the 2x is my f of x. F prime of x is going to be, the derivative of 1 is 0. Derivative of e to the 2x is e to the 2x. What is the derivative of 2x?
Times 2.
Times 2. F prime of x is going to be 2e to the 2x. So in here, my final product times 2e to the 2x. All right? I want you to get used to writing it. 1 over the function times the derivative of the function. Do not write it just as a complete fraction. So you recognize it when you're taking the antiderivative of that. Done. All right, on here, we're taking the derivative of
that.
This would be a chain rule. Okay? So g prime of t is equal to what? 3 times. What is the derivative of e to the negative t? E to the negative t times negative 1 plus e to the t. Correct?
Yes.
So the only other thing that we can do is e to the negative t plus e to the t squared minus e to the negative t plus e to the t. That is finished. There's nothing else you can do. Implicit differentiation. I am...
Product.
Exactly. Who did this problem? Did you get it right?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. All right. Derivative of x is 1 e to the y plus x e to the y dy over dx. Right? Are we okay? Minus 10 plus 3 dy over dx equals 0. So you have x e to the y dy over dx plus 3 dy over dx equals negative e to the y plus 10 dy over dx, x to the e to the y plus 3, e negative
10 minus dy.
Okay. 10 minus e to the y. So dy over dx equals 10 minus e to the y over x e to the y plus 3. Is that what all the...
Yes, ma'am.
We didn't have to find line tangents or anything? Finished.
59.
Okay. Take the derivative we already did in the previous problem. E to the y plus x e to the y dy
Wait,
over
do you
dx.
do implicit?
Dy over dx e to the x plus y e to the x
No problem.
equals 0. Correct? Did I do it right, everybody? Y, the derivative of y, dy over dx times e to the x plus y, the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. X, e, y, dy over dx plus e to the x dy over dx equals negative e to the y minus y e to the x.
Once before the final, like the answers all reversed. It's still the same answer,
Uh-huh.
Would you, on the AP exam, do they like it better when you move?
No,
It doesn't matter.
I just find it easier this way.
Okay, I'll take it right.
All right.
To me,
So now we have the values
Now you
to
just plug in the
substitute. So what is my derivative? dy over dx is negative e to the 0, or to the 1, minus 1 times e to the 0 over 0 plus e to the 0. negative e to the 1 minus 1 over 1. So the slope of, so u should be x to the 1/2. du is going to be 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 dx. So if I rewrite this, this is going to be 1 over 2 x to the 1/2 dx. And now I have an x to the 1/2. Is that better? It became a lot simpler, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, my u is given by this part. So this is where the u is going to be. du, I only have this section.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I am missing a 2 du, correct? So when you rewrite it, it's u to the u times du, and I have to take the 2 out, correct? All right, so the integral is going to be e to the u plus c times 2.
Probably zoom
2e
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna help out a
the
little bit.
square root of x plus c.
Is it, why isn't it over du?
Because du is x to the 1/2 in the bottom, dx on top, which is what you have. I tried to make it like a little L backwards shape. All right?
Now 91 on the big papa.
All right, 91. What does it say, please?
The integral of e to the x, square root of 1 minus e to the x.
All right, so what is your u going to be?
1 minus e to the x to the 1/2.
No, 1 minus e to the x.
1 minus e to the x.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because du is going to be
Negative e.
negative e to the x dx. So all I have,
Isn't it? All you need is the
negative e to the x. So I have a negative du equals e to the x dx. So all my parts are here. My du is there. That is the du. So I have negative u to the 1/2 du. Okay? So the integral of u to the 1/2 is u to the 3/2 plus c, and a minus in front, negative 2/3, parentheses, 1 minus e to the x to the 3/2 plus c.
Oh, I.
What problem?
99 or whatever.
Yes.
All right, so what's my u going to be?
Is that a U?
Negative
That's
2x.
0. Okay, I got you.
Negative 2x.
Oh, wow, that's
Wait,
Good
did
job,
you really
Josh.
need to use u?
Couldn't you rewrite it?
You will always use u substitution if it's e to the anything but a plane x.
But what about
No.
Anything to the plane x stays regular. Anything to the function of x, you do u sub.
But what about our rule? Because it says the integral of e to the oh, that's the derivative. I'm gonna get this straight.
All right. So you are going to have the integral from 0 to 1 of e to the u du divided by negative 1/2. Correct? I mentioned something right after the test corrections on how you could work this. We can go back and substitute what your u was, or you can remain here, but you need to say if u equals negative 2x, if u would be negative 2 times 1, and the other u would be negative 2 times 0, right?
And then
So you would go from negative 2, instead of this one, you would use negative 2, and you would go 0. Can you see that? 2 times 0 is 0. So you could leave it here and work as a function of u only.
Wait, what?
all right? You could stay here and work as a function of u. How do you do this? U is equal to negative 2x. If your x is 1, negative 2 times 1, that would be the new parameter, the new interval in, okay? So the integral of e to the u is? It would be e to the u, and then you would go negative 2 to 0. All right? So it would be negative 1/2 e to the negative 2 minus, hang on, this is, well, it doesn't matter, negative 1/2 e to the 0. Negative 1/2 e to the negative 2 plus 1/2. This would be leaving it as u. Let's go back and do it as function of x that you had been doing all throughout. So we had negative 1/2, and you went from 0 to from 1 to 0, correct? So you had e to the negative 2x dx. All right, we substituted back what our u was original. I'm leaving this one here, and this would be the other one. Going back to, instead of working with u sub, you go back to your original problem. Can you see that? So at this point, you go back and substitute your x. So you're going to have e to the negative 2x, right? Negative 1/2, and you're going to go from 1 to 0. So I have at 1 negative 1/2, e to the negative 2 times 1 is 2, minus negative 1/2, e to the negative 2 times 0 is 0. And the answers are identical.
Do you want us to find it in decimal form?
No, this is fine. So doesn't matter how you want to solve it. You want to substitute it as a u, you need to change the value of the intervals as u. Or you go back, and it's the exact same answer.
It will always be.
The answer has to be the same. But what triggered me to teach you this was that one of you in the test had left it as u, but used the intervals as a function of x. All right, so either one is correct. All right, that's it.